What's good, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Pull Up. My name is Tony Ramsey, bringing you a quick recap of last night's NBA action. 10 games on the schedule for last night, 6 of which were within 4 points or less, so a lot of good NBA action there. One of them even brought us a boxing match late in the fourth quarter, which is always exciting when the fans get more than they bargain for. Talk about that here in a sec, but let's go ahead and jump right into it and see what the results were for last night's games, and then look at today's NBA schedule and let you know who I think will pull out victories tonight. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Early on, we had the Nets and the Pacers. Pacers taking that one 132 to 112. Victor Oladipo with his second straight 25-point game. Pretty easy win right here for Indiana, what you can expect from them. Playing against a team as young as the Nets that are still trying to find their identity. Mentioned previously, they do have too many wing players there. I didn't even mention Joe Harris in my last video, and they just have way too much wing depth than what you can sustain long term. I think some of those pieces get moved in the middle of the season. We'll see what happens with that situation there. We had the Spurs dropping a road game to the Trailblazers, 108 to 121. Damian Lillard with a big 29 points there. What you can expect that to happen with the Spurs not having a real backcourt. It's healthy right now, especially at point guard position. They're going to lose some of these road games against the better teams in the West, so not a surprise there. Rockets over the Lakers 124 to 115 in LeBron's home debut. This is the game that had that fight late in the fourth quarter between Chris Paul and Ramon Rondo. Now, anyone that's been following the NBA all summer knew that this was going to be a volatile situation when you have Ramon Rondo, Lance Stevenson, JaVale McGee, and Michael Beasley all on the same team at the exact same time, playing a very, very hyped game early in the year against the Rockets, which a lot of teams in the NBA seem to hate. So no surprise there that a fight broke out. Looks like Rajon Rondo allegedly spit on Chris Paul. If you watch the replays, you really can't tell if that was true or not. But Chris Paul then put his finger in Rajon Rondo's face. Rondo took 2 quick ones, and then all hell broke loose. Brandon Ingram came running from 30 feet away and threw a haymaker into the crowd. So expect some suspensions coming there sometime later on today, because the Rockets do play a game tonight against the Clippers in LA. So NBA will have to come up with a solution there pretty quickly, and expect Chris Paul probably to be missing this game tonight against the Clippers. Next up, we had the Raptors taking a close road win against the Wizards in Washington, 117 to 113, without Kawhi Leonard, which is very surprising. You would think that Washington would find a way to win games like this, but they do have a little bit of soul searching to do. They've dropped their first 2 games of the season, both of which have been in Washington. So that home cooking doesn't taste too good for them right now. They got to figure out what the hell's going on. You got to win games like this against a good Eastern Conference foe without their best player. Those are wins that you have to have early in the year. You don't get those, then you become a little bit more of an afterthought in the East. It's just the way it is. That conference is already weak as it is. Find a way to win these games without top players playing, and you put yourself in a better position long term. That's just my point of view there. We got Boston against New York. Boston taking that one in Madison Square Garden, 103 to 101. Jason Tatum with a couple of big plays late in the game. He hit a step back jumper in the last minute to put the Celtics up for good. That kid's got next. He's just got whatever it factor it is you can have for an NBA player. Jason Tatum has it. Like him or not, that kid's got next. Then we have the Magic and the Sixers. Sixers taking this one in Philadelphia, 115 to 116. Surprisingly, Joel Embiid with 32 points. Ben Simmons did leave that game in the first quarter with I believe it was a back injury. Don't think it's anything to be concerned about long term. And they do still have a lot of weapons that can hopefully carry them without Ben Simmons healthy, especially Joel Embiid. He's playing starters minutes early in the year, so they can continue to get 30 points a night from Joel Embiid. They'll be fine, especially in the short term. Hornets over Miami in Miami, 113 to 112. Kemba Walker with a big 39 points. I think that might be his third straight 30-point game start the season. He is on a tear, hit 7 threes in this game, and taking home a surprising road victory over Miami. Another late game, we had the Pistons and the Bulls. Pistons taking this one 118 to 116 in Chicago. Blake Griffin with a big 33 points. Hit a huge step back 3 late in the game there. A big weapon he's added to his arsenal this season has been his ability to hit long-range jump shots off the dribble. He's morphed more into a point forward than a power forward, which I think is a good thing to do for his career, to to make it a little bit longer. Hopefully he can actually stay healthy this year. We can see Blake have another MVP campaign like he did a few years back for the Clippers. The Timberwolves dropping a road game to the Mavericks 136-140. No Jimmy Butler in this game. Karl-Anthony Towns did put up 31 points without Jimmy Butler there, so something to keep looking out for. We're going to be on the Butler and Cat watch. Seems like they just don't play well together at the same time when they're both playing. If Minnesota can find a way to get those two to play well together, then they might still have something. Jimmy Butler might still stick around. But my guess is that he still gets moved before Thanksgiving. So keep an eye on the situation there in Minnesota. And in the last game here, we had the Suns getting spanked by the Nuggets 119-91 in Denver. Nikola Jokic put up 35, 12, and 11 on, I believe it was 13 for 13 from the field. No turnovers. That is insane. Something that they're going to have to look out for the Suns, their interior defense. A lot they have to work on right there, which is surprising because they had Tyson Chandler, but Jokic was giving Chandler all of the buckets last night. So expect the Suns still to struggle this year. Devin Booker did have a pretty good game, though, even in the loss. I think he had 25. All right, today's schedule, we have 4 games coming up here tonight. As I mentioned before, we have the Rockets at the Clippers. Not quite sure if Chris Paul will be available in this one. My guess is he gets suspended for this game, and I believe that the Rockets will still find a way to win this one. The Clippers are favored by 1 point. First off, they still have James Harden. He's still playing at home, and they'll still put up 40 points, especially in a game after they just had that chippy one against the Lakers last night. Rockets still find a way to win this game, put them at 2-1 for the season. Warriors at the Nuggets, both teams 2-0. Warriors are favored by 4.5 points. I think the Warriors win this one. I think it'll be another close game, though. So I think that the Nuggets will cover the spread, but I have the Warriors taking this, winning this one on the road there. Hawks at the Cavaliers. 2 teams both going nowhere, but 2 teams with good young point guards to keep an eye on. Trae Young for Atlanta and Colin Sexton for Cleveland. I'm going to go ahead and give the edge here to the Cavs. They are playing at home. They still do have a veteran, Kevin Love, and they're favored by 7.5 points. I don't think they cover the spread, but I do think Cleveland pulls out the victory here behind a big game from Kevin Love. And the last game of the night, we're going to have the Kings visiting OKC. Not sure if Westbrook will be playing this game. OKC is favored by 10 points, which is a pretty big spread in the NBA. I think that the Kings find a way to cover that spread. They still do lose to the Thunder in Oklahoma City, Westbrook or not, but I think they cover the spread. They do have some young pieces there in Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox, who I think are going to be 2 big building blocks for them for the future. So that is today's episode, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of The Pull Up. My name is Tony Ramsey. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to drop a comment in the section down below. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe so whenever I do drop a new video, you are notified right away. Again, my name is Tony Ramsey. Thank you for tuning in to The Pull Up. Talk to you guys again soon. Peace.